Real quick before the video starts, I have a new channel based around green text stories on 4chan, and I'll be uploading videos daily over there. If you're interested, I'll leave a link to the channel in the description. Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael, and we're going to be getting right back into some more Reddit stories. If you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's begin. This story was posted by a user named Pleasant Mango in the AITA subreddit. The post is titled, "I blew up at my son's father and grandmother when I found out they trashed my son's formula and pacifiers. So I, a 20-year-old female, live with my boyfriend who is 28 and his parents. Despite being on birth control, our son is an oops baby. He came early at 36 weeks. I was terrified when the labor and delivery nurses told me he would need time in the neonatal intensive care unit. He did not. They said he would have feeding or breathing problems. He did not. And that he was overall small. I ended up with a second-degree tear due to him being sunny side up. Now, almost 7 weeks later, it still hurts to sit down and move certain ways. I still have back pain from where they placed the epidural. My recovery has not been easy. My stitches are healing well for the most part, and I am going to get an intrauterine device placed to have a more permanent form of birth control, because even after being on birth control pills for 2 years, they are not 100% effective. Since my son was born early, the nurses gave him formula at first. I really did not care. I just wanted my son to be healthy and able to come home. My son's father and his family pushed me to breastfeed throughout my pregnancy. It was never really something that crossed my mind. My goal was simply to have a healthy baby and for us both to survive. The hospital also gave us a pacifier, and my son's grandmother said that pacifiers were just a crutch that babies did not need, and that I was setting him up to have teeth problems and need braces later on. I tried pumping with the hospital grade pump, but it hurt. I tried breastfeeding my son, but it hurt, and a lactation consultant at the hospital said I would struggle with breastfeeding due to my anatomy and the fact that my son has a tongue tie. I just said, okay, whatever, let's give him formula. My son's father's family, especially his mother, were not happy about it. While I am up changing diapers and bottle feeding my son, she is also up and in my ear telling me how breast is best and you never know what is exactly in formula. My son's father even said once it would be hot to see me breastfeed, and to be honest, that just gave me the ick so badly. I have not gone back to work yet, despite applying to jobs left and right, so whatever my son's father brings in with his paychecks is how I am surviving right now. It has been tough, and I have to pretty much justify how I spend his money. Why did you spend so much at Walmart? Our son needs diapers, wipes, and formula, and a can only lasts so long. Well, why can't you start breastfeeding again to save money? I do not want to. Our son is happy, healthy, and thriving on formula. My son's father will not even make him bottles because he thinks it is unnatural when I supposedly can just magically make breast milk appear again. My son had an appointment this morning to check his weight with the pediatrician. While he is gaining weight, it has been slow and he has been spitting up the formula. The appointment ended up taking longer than I wanted because the pediatrician's office was running behind. When I got back to the house, I went to make my son a bottle and found the formula canister empty. My son was crying for his milk, and I asked his father what happened to the formula can because it was still half full. He just shrugged and said, "It looked old, so I threw it out." I asked him why he would do such a foolish thing, and he yelled at me not to talk to him that way. Then his mother came into the kitchen and yelled at me for disrespecting her son. I had to grab the formula can out of the trash and saw all the dumped formula powder just sitting there, along with my son's pacifiers, all mixed in with the garbage. At this point, my son's grandmother picked him up and was trying to console him because he was getting upset. She started defending my son's father, saying that the formula he is on always looks expired and old and gross. I ended up yelling, "Oh my god," and called my son's father selfish and awful for wasting something so important. It ended with his mother yelling at me to get out of her house, and she refused to give me my son as he was crying. I lost it on her and screamed, "Give me my fucking baby." She then threatened to call the police on me for verbally abusing her and physically abusing my son. I ended up leaving with my son to a friend's house and thankfully had a sample can of his formula stashed away in the diaper bag I keep in my car, along with 2 small sample cans the pediatrician's office gave me today. Both my son's father and grandmother have texted me asking me to come back and saying I should not have been so dramatic, and that my son's father was just trying to be careful. He wasted the baby's food and put my son in a difficult situation, and he does not even realize it. Neither does his mother, since she is backing him up on this. They are both making me feel so guilty. I am just trying to keep my son alive. I ended up calling my mother to talk to someone about this whole mess, and she agreed with my son's grandmother about how I should have breastfed, but she also said I am the mom and can make my own decisions about my son. I asked her if we could stay with her for a couple of days, and my mother said she simply did not have room for us, which is fair since she already has my 4 younger siblings living with her. I feel so mad and frustrated. I am literally on hold with my son's pediatrician's office to see if they can give me any more sample cans before I go back to my son's father's house. Am I the asshole for getting mad over formula being trashed, or was my son's father in the right here? Edit. My friend loaned me enough cash to get my son a can of formula, thank God. The pediatrician's office never picked up, so I left a message for the receptionist, and I am hoping they will get back to me before they close. We can only stay with my friend for maybe a couple of days because I do not have anything beyond what is in the diaper bag for my son. I'm going to apply for Women, Infants, and Children's Program and Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program benefits and see if a lawyer will help me get sole custody of my son. I am not married to his father, and I really do not want to go back to his mother's house if I do not have to. I should have grabbed some of my own stuff, but I was so angry I just wanted to get out of there. I am going back to playing phone tag and trying to get help to get us out of this situation. A huge thank you to the Redditor who helped me by finding resources in my county and offered to help with stuff like diapers for my son so we do not have to go back to his dad's or grandmother's. I have a lot of places to call tomorrow to hopefully get the ball rolling. Update. I do not have a parent's home to go back to for those telling me to go back to my mom's or dad's. My dad is listed as unknown on my birth certificate, and my mom kicked me out when I told her I was pregnant because she has my younger siblings to take care of. It was either living with my boyfriend and his mom or being homeless while pregnant. I did not think my son's father and grandmother would screw me over so badly like this though. My son's pediatrician's office did call me back yesterday morning. I could not get through to anyone Wednesday afternoon, and I was able to go in. They gave me a list of resources. Most I already knew about, like Women, Infants, and Children's Program and Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, but they also gave me the number for a women's shelter in my area. I gave them a call, explained my situation, and they asked if I was in any immediate danger. I said no, I had left with my son. She asked if I planned on going back, and I said no. She asked if any physical abuse had happened, and I told her that my son's grandmother refused to give him to me until I started yelling, but she said that did not count because it was not physical. She also said I could not keep my son away from his father, but my son's father and grandmother have not tried contacting me since Wednesday when I left. She gave me the number for legal aid in my county and said to complete the eligibility application. She said she would contact me when a spot opened up at the shelter. My son's pediatrician's office also gave me all of their newborn and size 1 diapers they had in stock, and another sample can of formula for him. For those saying I need to get a job, get a lawyer, save money, I know that. I just got cleared to return to work at my 6-week postpartum checkup. My last job was working as a cashier at a gas station, and I only made $9 an hour. I have applied to jobs, but I cannot make anyone hire me on the spot. If it were not for my friend loaning me money to get my son a full canister of formula, he would be surviving off the sample cans I had in the diaper bag and what the pediatrician gave me on Wednesday. My friend let us crash at her place from Wednesday night until today. Her roommate is coming back home, and I do not blame them for not wanting me and my newborn to sleep on their couch. I am trying to convince my mom to let us stay with her until the shelter can find us a bed, but I do not think that will work out either. I filled out the eligibility application for legal aid yesterday, and I am really hoping I hear back soon. I tried calling custody lawyers after Googling them, and out of the few I spoke to, only one was considered low fee, but they wanted a deposit of over $1,000, which I do not have. I am terrified of my son's father using his mother's money to get custody and keep him away from me. One really kind person here on Reddit offered to get my son diapers and wipes so I would not have to go through what little I had in the diaper bag. I also got a lot of really weird and some downright hateful messages too. Yes, I know I should not have had a kid at 20. Yes, I should have kept my legs closed, and a lot of you have some really strong preferences for breastfeeding. It just was not something I felt I could do. It was not something I wanted to do. I literally never thought my son's grandmother and his father would act like lunatics over this. No, I am not giving my son up for adoption. No, I am not dropping him off at a firehouse. I am doing the best I can under these circumstances. I plan on applying for all of the government help I can get once I have a permanent place to lay my head. I have been running on fumes and trying to wrap my head around everything. I am still in shock over it all, and I know I need to get sole custody of my son and keep him away from his dad and grandmother. It is not like I can start lactating again at 7 weeks postpartum, but boy, did I get a lot of messages telling me I did not try hard enough or did not care enough about my son because I feed him formula. I keep staring at my phone, waiting for the shelter to call to say they have a spot for us. I feel so bad for my son that this is what his life is like, and I am angry at myself for everything too. I am hoping I can get the ball rolling on getting assistance, finding a lawyer, and securing something more stable for us soon. I know it is not much of an update, but I know a lot of people were concerned and asked for one. I will try to update again when I have better news to share. Edit. You guys, I am doing everything I can here. I cannot make a lawyer take my case if I do not have the funds for a deposit. I cannot make a shelter worker take us in if they do not have space. I cannot go to a different county for shelter or resources when I have nothing but my son's diaper bag and my purse to my name. I have people in my inbox telling me I should have my son taken away from me and that I should go to jail for leaving his father's and grandmother's house. For crying out loud. I called a shelter in the next county over and left a voicemail, and now I am calling churches for help too. I would be grateful for a hotel room just for the weekend. I am doing everything I can in my power, and some people are just being downright mean and awful. It is not like I wanted to be in this situation at all. Edit 2. I have made a GoFundMe for those who want to help after 4 or 5 people suggested it. I am getting it up and running now, but thank you to all those who have been kind to me. I cannot post the GoFundMe link because Reddit keeps removing it, but I will send it to you if you ask for it. Please know I really appreciate it. I cannot wait to put this situation behind us. I am now halfway to my GoFundMe goal, and I really cannot believe it. Holy moly, thank you so much everyone, every little bit helps. Turuel said, I hate the online response of get a lawyer, just leave, etc. in many of these circumstances. Do not get me wrong, sometimes those are applicable. Like the woman who was a doctor, but her husband mistreated their daughters. But most people do not have those kinds of resources just lying around. Even worse though is when people go through the effort to explain these things and others just do not read or bother to care. I hope she gets out sooner rather than later before the situation gets even worse. Icy Paleontologist said, a teenager in an age gap relationship gets pregnant even while on birth control, and then the father turns out to be a controlling weirdo along with his crazy mom. Yeah, that birth control was assisted in its failure. This second post was made in the true Off My Chest subreddit by a throwaway account. The post is titled, My White Husband Confessed to Me That He Enjoys Race Play Fantasies. I am black and my husband is white. Yesterday, he admitted to me that recently he has started to like something called race play. which means he has sexual fantasies about racist situations. To be honest, I still do not know a lot about it, but an example he gave me is that he has a fantasy about being a plantation owner while I am a slave that he keeps as a mistress. I cannot stand to look at him anymore because all I feel is disgust. He knows that I have been in relationships where I was objectified in the past, and I know that people cannot control their sexual interests, but I cannot separate this image of my husband being attracted to racist situations from the man that I fell in love with and married. He asked me if I was willing to give it a chance, but I told him that I did not want to, and now he is sleeping in the guest room because we had a fight about me not being supportive. I think this might end my marriage, but I love him and want to work through it somehow. Update. I talked to my husband over lunch. I did what some of you suggested and asked him where he got the idea from and how he started to like it. Most of you were right. He discovered it on a porn site and began watching more videos featuring it. He told me that it has been about 2 months since he discovered it. Then he asked me again if I would give it a chance for him. When I told him that I was uncomfortable with it, he got upset again and asked why I would not support him. He even offered that we could try it once, and then if I did not like it, we would not have to do it again. But when I said no, he got frustrated and we started to argue. He reminded me of all of the things that he has done for me and how much he always supports me, then called me manipulative. He has now left with the car to go spend time with his friends. I have been crying for the past 15 minutes and I do not know what else to do. Update 2. A couple of commenters have asked about it since the first update a few hours ago. I am now trying to see if one of my friends will let me stay with them for a day or two so that I can clear my head. I am no contact with most of my family, and the family members I still talk to live several states away, so staying with family is not an option. My husband owns the house, so I cannot change the locks or tell him not to come home. Update 3. It is currently the middle of the night here. I left our house and am now staying with a good friend, and I will be staying here until this evening. I have been here for a few hours now. I did not see my husband before my friend picked me up, but I left him a voicemail to tell him that I needed space to clear my head. I also did what some of you suggested and said in the voicemail that I felt pressured by him into doing something that I did not want. He has since heard the voicemail and has called and texted begging me to come home. He wants to come pick me up from her house in the morning, but I said no. He accused me of abandoning him right before Thanksgiving, and his best friend has also texted me to tell me that I am a bad wife for treating my husband like this when he pays for everything and supports my lifestyle. To be honest, it made me cry more than what my husband said. I do not think I will be able to get any sleep tonight after this. This is not part of the update, but I have received a lot of questions through comments and direct messages, so I will answer a few of them here. I do not know if my husband has a porn addiction. To be honest, I'm not sure how to tell if someone has a porn addiction. I am 25 and my husband is 33. We have been together for 3 years, almost 4, but we have only been married for 1 year. My husband is the sole earner in our house. I am a stay-at-home wife and do not have any income. We do not have any children together, but we're planning to start a family next year. I want children, but I am going to put it on hold until I figure things out, of course. We have done domination in the bedroom before, so this porn did not awaken that kink in him. All of my husband's ex-girlfriends are white. Aside from 2 guys that I dated in high school and my husband, all of the men I have dated have been Hispanic or black. Yes, we live in the South, but I do not feel comfortable disclosing what state. Update 4. Hello and happy Thanksgiving to all who celebrate. I apologize if this post seems like a ramble, but I have had a very difficult last few days, so my thoughts are a little incoherent. I was pointed in the direction of this subreddit by a user who private messaged me because she thought I would benefit from it. My husband confessed to having a fetish the other day that I am very uncomfortable with. We had a fight about it and he accused me of not being supportive of him because I told him that I would not give it a chance. This led to him sleeping in our guest room and more arguments. After consulting with others from a different subreddit, I had a good friend pick me up and take me to her house while he was out with his friends. She offered to let me spend Thanksgiving with her and her family, so I left him a voicemail before I left, telling him where I was and that I would be home after Thanksgiving dinner. Now he will not stop texting and leaving voicemails, begging me to come home. He has also accused me of abandoning him on Thanksgiving, even though I am supposed to cook and host for his immediate family today. To be honest, I am worried about ruining Thanksgiving. His family loves to celebrate holidays, and Thanksgiving is his mother's favorite. I host and cook for every holiday except for Independence Day and Easter. I know that his siblings are not going to care, but it is his parents that I am worried about. I have a good relationship with them aside from their nosiness, but they are traditional, and I worry that if I do not come home and host it will strain our relationship. My husband thinks that I am going to ruin the entire holiday if I refuse to come home, since he cannot cook, and he thinks it will be cruel of me to let his family come to our home expecting dinner when there will be nothing to eat because of me. Update 5. While I was preparing dinner with my friend, my husband called me. His family has arrived and his parents are not happy with his explanation about why I am not there. He did not tell them the truth and I do not know what he said, but apparently the excuse that he gave was not a good one because they blame him for it. His mother has taken over making all of the food, and instead of turkey, she will be reheating some leftover chicken for them to eat. Apparently, she scolded him for fighting with me during a holiday when it is supposed to be about spending time with family and reflecting on why you love them. He sounded like he was about to cry while talking. He asked me if I was happy that his time with his mother and father was ruined because I wanted to be spiteful and hurt him instead of just putting my feelings aside and spending time with him and his family. He said that his friend was right about me being a bad wife because I stooped low enough to embarrass him to his family by ghosting them on a holiday. Then he told me that he is coming to get me at 7:30 and hung up. To be honest, I feel awful for making him cry. I know that I should be happy that his parents are supportive even if he did not tell them the real reason, but my husband rarely cries. I feel terrible for hurting him like that. I think that I messed up by not going home, but I do not know what to do. Edit. This is not an update, but please stop suggesting that I go to my family. I am no contact with most of my family, including my parents, for a reason that I do not feel comfortable disclosing. The family members I am in contact with are more distant relatives, and before any of you ask, no, my husband does not have anything to do with why I'm no contact with my parents. I have been no contact with them since before we entered a relationship, and he has never met them. Update 6. A lot has happened and I have not been able to come back here until this morning. I am sorry. After my last post, I did go home with my husband. He locked himself in the bathroom, but he eventually came out. We had a conversation and I apologized for upsetting him. He also apologized for making me cry. That Friday, he made his friend apologize to me, and he also apologized to me for everything else and said that he wanted to fix things. He bought me a necklace and bracelet during his Black Friday shopping to show how much he loves me. That night, we slept together for the first time since all of this started. It was fine and nothing strange really happened, but I still felt weird. I decided to just ignore it. I brought up starting therapy to him a few times over the weekend, but he got very upset and defensive whenever I tried to bring it up. After a few days, I just let it go and decided to try and move on. He took me on a small vacation to a resort in our state this week because he thought that time away from everything would help us get closer after the unpleasantness. I was happy to get some time away to clear my head and spend time with him so we could make things work, so I agreed. I loved spending time with him. Things were fine until Wednesday night. We went to the beach that day and then saw a movie. When we got back to the resort that night, he asked me again if I would give his fantasy a chance. Of course, I said no, but he insisted and got frustrated when I refused again. He blew up on me and asked why I was doing this to him when he has been doing everything right. To be honest, I got very scared and tried to go to the bathroom, but he grabbed me before I could and pinned me down. I could not do anything about it. I just lay there and cried. He said some awful things to me and made me say awful things too. I feel disgusting, and now I can barely stand to look at or think about myself. I have thrown up most of the food I've had since, and I am having nightmares. We came back home today, and I have been in our room the entire time. He has been acting like nothing happened and thinks that I just came down with the flu or coronavirus. I wish that I had listened to you all. You were right, and now I do not know what to do. Update 7, I am feeling exhausted from everything happening currently, but I thought I would update everyone to let you know that I am staying with a friend. To be honest, I have been depressed these last few days and my nightmares have only increased. I have not seen my husband in person since I left, but he will not stop calling and texting, begging me to come home. I do not know what I am going to do yet, but I am grateful for all of the kind words and support. Update 8. I am sorry for not updating you all on the situation in over 2 months. To be honest, I have been very depressed and have not felt motivated to do much of anything recently, but I thought you all deserved to know how the situation stands. Unfortunately, I suffered a miscarriage on January 12th. I will not go into detail, but I had only known about it for 3 weeks when it happened after I went to the doctor for testing, as some of you suggested. I was at 10 weeks. My husband and I are back together. I have been back at the house full time since the first week of January after coming back for a few days over the holidays. He promised me that he would change and be better if I came home, and I felt guilty about not letting him prove himself, so I agreed. He had not known about the baby before I miscarried and he was angry that I did not tell him, so we got into an argument at the doctor's office when he found out. My husband's mother talked to him about it after he told her what happened, and he apologized for screaming at me while I apologized for not telling him. Other than this incident, he has been supportive and gentle. We have both been making an effort to change and be better to each other, and we are currently in couples counseling together. I know that people wanted me to get a divorce, but I decided that trying to work things out with him was the best option for us. I have still been spending more time with my close friend, and she is not really happy that I moved back in so soon, but our other friends are happy that we are giving it another try. I did end up telling a few of them about the fetish, and they were divided on it. Either they thought it was weird or they did not think it was worth the fuss I made. So I guess the opinion about it is still divided, but I am also planning to get a part-time job soon. My best friend said that she will help me get one. We have not had sex or done anything of that nature since I have been back, for obvious reasons. And he has not talked about his fetish to me either. We did have a talk about what happened when he forced himself on me, and he said that he did not know I was upset since he thought I was enjoying it because I did not try to get up after he started. I guess that I should have told him to get off or something, but I did cry a lot during our talk, and he said sorry and that he did not know. I know that this is not the update that some of you wanted, but I do feel supported and loved by my husband right now, and I want to just heal from this loss now, along with him. I will update soon if I feel the motivation to, but if not, then I will probably come back in a month or two. 2 years later, OP gave us her final update. I am sorry for not updating you all in almost 2 years, but I wanted to briefly update everyone and let you know that I am alive and safe and no longer with my soon-to-be ex-husband. The circumstances are less than ideal for multiple reasons, but I am safe, and I will never go back to him. I will post a longer update sometime this week, but in the meantime, I will be happy to talk with anyone about things if they are curious. I just wanted to say that I am grateful for all of the kind words and support that I have received from you all, and to the people like UK Medic Balloon and others who sent me harmful and harassing messages. I am glad to know that there are people in life more miserable than I was. Thank you, everyone. Quicksilver said, I kept reading and it kept becoming worse and worse. I am not sure I want to know what happened in those 2 years. Ancient Egg said, agreeing to bedroom kinks isn't support. Rusty01 said, Jesus. Oh, I did not know I was you. After I grabbed you and pinned you down, you never said to stop. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video, and thank you also to partner of the channel, GamerSupps. Use code DLAM to support the channel and get 10% off of your purchase, link in the description. I'm sure many of you like me have a hankering for daily caffeine, so go check them out. Lately, I've been a big fan of Titty Milk and Acid Rain, but they've got dozens of other flavors for y'all to try out. Anyway, thanks again for reaching the end, and I hope you all have an amazing passage of the next 24 hours.